I'll offer an opening prayer, and then we'll be led in the pledge by Audrey. Our Father in heaven, we thank thee for today. Grateful for the beautiful morning that it is. Just grateful for where we live. And Father, we ask thy blessing upon this meeting today. God, please bless each and every one of us with thy spirit. Might be able to do things that will be right and beneficial for the county. God bless us in all of our decisions and in the way that we conduct ourselves, that we might do it with thee and thy Son in mind, and that we might do things right in thine eyes. We thank thee again, Father, for blessing us, for where we live, and we pray for our county. We pray that moisture might come to our county to help settle the dust, and that we might be able to get out of the drought that we're in. We pray for our county government, that we might be able to organize ourselves and conduct ourselves in such a way that we can have things run smoothly here. Father, we pray for these things, pray for safety in all of our travels and everything today, and we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which to stand, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we'll have an approval of the agenda, and as we open the floor for discussion, there are a few things we have. A few things that were left off that we may have to have a special meeting for, and that is action item for the checks and register and stuff. But we will talk with the county manager, and we'll get that sorted out.
Mr. Chairman, if you might
yes.
indulge me, I just wanted to extend my apologies. When Adrian reviewed this agenda on Friday night or Saturday morning, he didn't catch that those items were not on there, and I apologize. So we will ask those be on there as a regular item for future agenda items.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, you bet. And then we might, well, I guess we'll just see if we need to have a special
Yes.
meeting or not.
Yes, sir.
All right. So is there any other discussion on the agenda?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, if we could, at the end of the agenda, change next month's meeting date to November the 10th.
Yeah, we'll want to make sure that we notify the public that we have that up on the web soon so that everybody knows. I kind of get the feeling that everybody thought that the meeting was at a different day today. Either that, there wasn't much going on. But anyway, so if there's no further discussion, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
It's been motioned, seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of minutes for September 10th, 2025, regular meeting. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I have discussion. I neglected to send to the county clerk my full notes on the meeting with the governor. And I think those should be included in the minutes. If it's acceptable legally, I'd like to submit that to the clerk and go ahead and approve the minutes with that submission.
Yes, sir. That's perfect.
Okay.
So if there's no further discussion, our motion is?
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes with the addition of the details in the meeting with the governor regarding our public safety declaration.
Mm-hmm.
And I will send those notes to you.
Okay.
For space.
I'll second.
Thank you.
It's been motioned, seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. We're going to open this time for public comment. We will also include in this time, county commissioners can also public comment. So So that would be available there. During this portion of our meeting, we welcome your suggestions, want to hear your concerns. This is not a question and answer period. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes. The County Commission is not able to act on matters discussed during public comment. Speakers are requested to state their name for the record. Is there anyone? Okay.
Yeah, I have public comment.
Okay.
If I was allowed to wear a hat, I'd have it in my hand right now. And I'm glad that we have our other departments here. Rather than talk about the activity of last week, if anybody's, or last month, if anybody's interested, please let me know and I'll share that with you. But there is something that I need to make sure is in the record. We've been having some difficulties, some frustrations, a lot of anxiety between the treasurer's office and the commission office. And I'm afraid that I am likely the foundation for those issues beginning. And what initially happened after we appointed our treasurer, I mentioned to him, rightfully I thought at the time, that we have millions of dollars that are making less than 1.5% interest, and there is a state fund that will make over 4% interest. And I thought it would be wise to transfer that money. We're talking close to $300,000 in interest. That was a huge mistake on my behalf. I believed that the treasurer had the authority to do that, and he doesn't. I believe the treasurer went on my comments and did what he thought was best for the county and what I thought was best for the county, and it was illegal. And the minute we discovered that through a call with our county attorneys, within 2 minutes, the money was transferred back, trying to correct the issue. And unfortunately, that has generated a lot of consternation and frustration. And I believe I need to take responsibility for that. Now, there is a silver lining. Once the bank that was offering us about 0.4% interest found out we were moving the money, they said, hang on, we can look at 3.5%. So there lies the silver lining. We are going to still be able to keep money in that bank. I don't know how much, but we'll keep money in the bank. And the interest is going to be over 3% higher, which will give us sufficient money to pay at least 2 additional salaries in Catron County. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the bank should have offered us that higher interest in the 2.5 years ago, right? But look, it's a capitalistic system, and I am a capitalist. I understand why the bank is doing what they did. Was it ethical? Well, that's not for me to decide. But the fact is, we have a silver lining in place. The other issue, again, my actions. I told the treasurer that I liked the idea of him having second eyes on our purchasing system. And I said, look, if an invoice comes through and it doesn't have a PO or the appropriate accounting information with it, you don't have to pay that. We need to make sure our system is working well, and you can go back and say, look, this can't be paid. Well, once again, I was dead wrong. It's great to have eyes on the invoices, a second set of eyes, but the treasurer cannot say I'm not paying the invoice. I was wrong, and I am the reason for this issue, for the frustrations that we're having. and thank God we have, we, we have very strong personalities. And when those strong personalities mesh and work with each other, we're a heck of a team. But when they draw up battle lines, there's a hell of a battle going on. And I'm hoping that the commission and the departments will allow me to take corrective action and try to stop what I've generated, which is a bunch of horn locking and battling going on. I would very much like to start the process of correcting that. That's my comment.
Public comment.
Can I get that in? Can you type?
Yes.
Please.
And it's written out a little better than the way I presented it.
Okay.
So I would first of all like to say thank you, Hayden, for coming forward with that and being honest about that. However, with the whole situation that happened, I was put in a position where I had to report to the Office of the State Auditor and DFA what had happened. That took an emotional and mental and physical toll on me because I did not want to have to do that. But now I was forced into a position to do that. I don't know what the outcome of that is going to be. For me all along, my thing has been, as commissioners, you need to trust the finance department to do their job because we do know what we're doing it, and we're not completely closed to constructive criticism. Okay, we're not. However, just lines should not be crossed, and I agree, everyone needs to work together, but it's kind of hard to do when things like this are happening. And me, as finance personally, I feel like decisions are being made when all you have to do is ask me. Ask me a simple question and I'll be able to tell you, yes, we can do this, no, we can't. Here we can do this, but here's a process we have to follow. I've not been asked any of that, and I feel like that this could have saved a lot of trouble. And I'm hoping that going forward that all stops. It's not that I'm a know-it-all, but I've been here long enough in this county to know the policies of the DFA and that. And, and if it's something that I don't truly know or whatever, I will reach out to DFA. I've been in a lot of talks with DFA. They're totally aware of what's taking place. And I just feel like I am personally going to ask for that respect to be included. I'm just asking as finance. There are policies and procedures that everyone may not understand regarding DFA and the budgets and all this, but regardless, we have to follow them, regardless. Otherwise, it puts me in a position what I had to do, and I'm not happy about what I had to do at all. It just put me in a really bad emotional frame of mind at that point.
I would like to make a public comment, just kind of backing up what Benson said. Becky was literally her whole entire, like she was almost evil. She was so thick about it. But it kind of put a on her. As far as what Amy said, I feel the same way. I don't know everything, but I feel like a lot of times you guys make decisions and you don't take into consideration like the work, how that decision will affect how we work every day. And I think it'd be awesome if you guys wanted to be, and I don't mean involved like you come in the office and work with us, but involved to the point where you talk to us. Like, when you're gonna make decisions on something that affect our daily work. And as far as he said, horn locking or whatever, that, I mean, it's good. I'm a will call me the nurturer or the forgiver. I'm really probably too good at that, but it's gonna take work because it's been ugly. It's been very hateful and ugly. So I just wanted to throw that out. That's my public comment.
Anyone else for public comment? Yeah, there is a commissioner. We don't have commissioner reports? No, that's not that big deal, so.
Oh.
If you need to make a public comment.
So I will. So I'd just like to take a moment to address my recent resignation from the CLLA board. Serving on the CLLA board over the past 2.5 years has been an honor and a responsibility I have taken very seriously. My heart has truly been in this work, and I've been proud to represent our ranchers and our community with integrity and commitment. Unfortunately, my decision to resign did not come entirely by my choice. I was placed in a difficult position when a New Mexico state senator made it clear that she would work to block the funding to reimburse ranchers through the CLLA if I continued to serve on the board and receive depredation payments for my own losses, even on the same terms as the other ranchers. In light of that pressure, I chose to step aside rather than to allow the organization or the ranchers we serve to suffer as a result. While I regret the circumstances, I remain fully supportive of the CLLA's mission and of the hardworking ranchers it represents. I will continue to advocate for fairness, transparency, and the success of our ranching community in every capacity I can. I just wanted that to be noted. That's just for the constituents that know the work I put into it, that I wasn't stepping down because it was my choice, but I don't want to hurt the ranchers, so.
Can you send that to me?
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? All right, so I'll just make a brief public comment, Sherry, so Buster Green. And anyway, no, I just want to comment that, I think that everyone here is trying to do the best they can for the county stuff. And, as with most business deals and stuff, communication becomes key in every aspect. And when there is a lack of communication, that's usually when problems creep up. So hopefully we can all learn to communicate better. And I just want to state for the record that I appreciate and offer thanks and gratitude to everything that Audrey has done for the CLLA and for the her heart and soul that she put into it. And unfortunately, we have instances where the power and authority becomes more important than serving and what's right. That's my comment.
It's a loss to the CLLA.
Yeah.
I'll still be there. I just won't be the face on both.
Right.
All right. So if there's nobody else for public comment, we will now move to action items. Consideration of resolution 10-2026 budget adjustment number 2, fiscal year 2025 to 2026. We'll open the floor for discussion. Just normal.
The only difference is that I included all the CLLA budget stuff in, which was not in the original budget, so that would be going to on the TMA side.
We did get that ironed out to where now MDA is just paying us so that it's not paying
Yes.
out of our, that's
Yes.
taking care
It's separate, yes,
of. Okay.
and I'm tracking. Just to
Okay.
make sure that it doesn't go into the negative this end.
And so, just as a discussion item, within that, all those funds, like everything's taken care of. Basically, there's no county funds out there that have been used for CLLA that have to be reimbursed. Everything's straight.
No.
Okay,
So CLLA had always
been the self-contained, right? If we had the possibility of an issue was with when we have to send out our indirect damage payments, which was substantially more than the CLLA budget had, $600,000. That budget has about $430,000. So that was the point that we worked through with NMDA, so the county funds will not be used in any way, shape, or form, nor have they been.
Okay. All right. Is there any further discussion? Seems as there's no further discussion, is there a motion?
I will motion.
I'll second.
It's been motioned, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Item B, consideration of resolution 11-2026, accepting the NMDOT grant for the Bytown Electrical Vehicles Charging Station project. I thought that we had went ahead.
So what
We had been,
Last
you
month.
had approved, well, you had approved the contract with NMDA, NMDOT. However, this is the resolution I had failed to bring to you, so it does require, NMDOT required a resolution. So this is a cleanup item because I failed to bring this resolution at the same time with the contract.
okay. Is there any further discussion? Seems as is there a motion?
I'll motion.
I'll second.
It's been motioned, seconded, all in favor?
I should have said for approval.
I'm like, everything motion.
What am I motioning?
We motioned, seconded for approval, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Item C, consideration of resolution 12-2026, supporting the New Mexico County's 2026 legislative priorities. Open the floor for discussion.
That's me.
Yes, ma'am.
This is what the NMC board voted would be their priorities for the community. Some of these don't really relate to Calhoun County so much, but the ones I'm really thinking that would be good is courthouse funding. I would like to see us get on board with that. I would like to see us have our finance cleaned up so we could actually build in. And then, the RISE funding is a big thing across the state, mental health, jail system. The IPRA improvements, that's gonna be an ongoing thing from here on. I'm totally in support of that. But the property tax exemption deadlines for veterans also affects every assessor, every veteran, and they're trying to basically leave that open where they can apply at any time. So there's no way we can have a standard number. There's no, our tax thing will just be balancing. And so everybody's like, well, that's not a big deal, but it really kind of is. That affects budgeting, that affects your school, that affects your, it is a big thing. So yes, I would like the county to support these. And I would also like to say at the last board of directors meeting, they did tell us that they're looking at doing a sweep of funding. So if we have any projects that we haven't, got the money kind of encumbered and is moving along, they're sitting there, they're gonna try to sweep every fund they can get. So if we have anything that hasn't moved, we need to be moving it.
And what fund are you talking about? Is that state grants, waste?
Yes, grants, capital outlay project, anything like that's the state that's looking to do this. And they did this, several years ago, you take that, do you remember that, Dave?
Yes.
They took out a bunch of money from everybody.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind. And I didn't get to see the blue hole that Santa Rosa.
Oh, nice.
Yes, it was not what I was expecting, but it was cool.
Did you go diving?
No. Like, no, I don't think so. I didn't my feet be touching the bottom.
Can I make a quick comment? What I enjoy about the New Mexico County's legislative priorities, we've got 33 counties in the state, essentially 3 or 4 of which are extremely liberal. The balance have conservative actions that they make priorities, and that's reflected in the legislative priorities.
You can mix people in the very first meeting that I went to, the lady from Domiana, wanted to get rid of the small counties off the ANC board and more members from the big five. And I was just there like, so they're looking at me. And those people, I mean, you'd be surprised, it was the other bigger counties that said, no, we are 33 and they're just as important as we are, regardless of their populations or anything. And we have to have a SNCC. And it is very conservative. It is very conservative.
It's good. Is there any other discussion? Seems as there is none, is there a motion?
For what?
To,
Oh.
I knew you were gonna say.
I'll second.
been motion seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, item B, consideration of resolution 13-2026. Ratifying the agreement with the Southwest Union Council of Governments and authorizing the executive of the same by the proper official of Catron County. Open the floor for discussion.
So my understanding, maybe David can speak on this a little bit stronger than I can. This is our annual agreement with the Southwest, the COG. So it is typical.
That's correct. And Mr. Chairman, if I might just add, so this is, if I'm not mistaken, our contracts that they can serve as our fiscal agent because of our audits. The state has plenty of requirements about ensuring that we have a fiscal agent to make certain purchases. So this is our contract and process by which we do that.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? Seeing as it is, then is there a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve resolution 13-2026.
It's been motion seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Item E, consideration of resolution 14-2026, authorization participation in the local government road fund program administered by NMDOT, First Amendment. L600-240. Open the floor for discussion.
And I'm not sure, Mark, if you want to speak, if we can possibly combine E, F, and G. They are basically our cattle guard grants that we have.
Was that what that is?
We had so much going on at the time,
Yeah.
and I elected to go ahead and extend these, grants for another year. Because we were putting in culverts at York Branch Road, doing any kind of work, and we all had to have this done by the end of this year. And I just didn't see it happening, it probably could have happened because we already got through to the culverts and stuff. But there was a delay in the bid, and that's gonna cost you another month, so I thought we'd have more time next year to just take care of all this.
Right.
It's our in kind, so for 16 categories.
Okay, just have it in place. All right. So let's go back, and this is consideration for items E, F, and G. Consideration for items 14-2026, 15-2026, and 16-2026. Okay. All right.
I would make a motion that we approve the resolutions.
I'll second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor? Aye. So Mark, I had some constituents, some people out there on York Road who were telling me there's culverts being put in where water doesn't run normally. And I told them, you do not have to worry because we've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, and engineers who probably have not ever been on that road have told us where to put the culvert. So
They will make the water run that way.
yes.
Well, it was definitely engineered for one thing, and I disagreed with a lot of stuff it did, and I had to make changes because of telephone lines, fences, fiber optic.
Right.
But they told me just to use my own judgment, move them away. That's what it is. I'm not real big on, I would say.
I know, I understand. All right. Item H, appointment of county representatives to the County Livestock Loss Authority Board. Open the floor for discussion. Think that we have a resignation.
Well, I think that since we can't have a livestock producer on the board, Hayden's the only person that could be the person.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner McLean, I reviewed both the JPA and the bylaws, the last version I had, last iteration, it doesn't require a commissioner, so you're aware. But that doesn't stop Commissioner Ford from serving. I just want to be clear that you have flexibility with respect to you. Not that I don't want you to serve on the board. I'm just saying, just so you understand, you have flexibility with respect to.
Dude, am I supposed to like make an official resignation of it, or do we have to do that?
I think that's. I think.
Okay. I just don't want to do anything wrong.
Yeah, no, we can talk about it.
So send the administrator an email.
Okay.
I think probably let's talk after. Figure out. I think probably make a call and
I just want to make sure we do that.
Yeah, I think we just need to make a call. Is what we need to make sure we do, and let the senator know. I think that's been addressed, and that would be doing. But let's talk after the meeting. But I just want to make sure y'all are aware that it can be anybody. It does not require the JPA, and the bylaws do not require that it be a commission.
Right. Well, I think Hayden
So-
has lots of spare time, and I think he can. Because this will eat up more time than the commissioner.
Yeah.
It will.
So is that something that you would be willing to do, or would you like to look at the option of appointing somebody
Well,
within the county?
I would like to make it clear that, and the assessor will agree with me on this, I do have cattle on my property. Just because they come to me when I call them, it doesn't mean they're not cattle.
Exactly. What are the other people's cow, or do you have?
Either.
Yeah, well, what can I say? They're pets as much as they are. Yeah. Thank you. I will do my best. I won't be able to fill your shoes on the commission, but I am so happy to know that you'll continue as a sounding board and a consultant, which will be desperately needed.
So I'm taking that as you're willing to do this.
Yes.
Okay. So
So we need to make a motion that Hayden's our new representative.
So if there's no further discussion, is there a motion?
Make the motion.
I'll second it. So the motion has been made to appoint Hayden Forward as the county representative to the CLLA. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item I, approval of accounts payable, payroll, HR job description. Open floor for discussion.
I think that Joe is doing a heck of a job, and I think that with the extra job she's doing, we need to approve her being more.
Will be absorbing the human resources aspects of the decision.
Yep.
Also, I want to make it understood that, Joe is fully aware that this position does have to be flown and she will be reapplying for it.
Yes. You want to go ahead and just state what is going to be flown, just the basics?
So it was included in the packet, and so it is a revision of Joe. It's with that position is currently payroll and accounts payable. We are adding the human resources aspect to the position. Under the previous person that occupied that position had HR and payroll, and so we've just kind of worked it back and forth between basically the three job functions. So we are once again adding HR back into it. As previously discussed, that current role is under me. However, HR does require you drop everything when you get either, a complaint or an injury or a workman's comp claim. You have to drop what you're doing and deal with that. And so I feel that since that position, you did have that function before, adding funds to that salary and those duties back to that position, I think is appropriate.
Okay. Dave?
Yes, sir.
Hey, quick question.
Yes, sir.
So I have no problem with this issue, but if we were gonna table this until after executive session,
You can do that.
we can do that,
Absolutely.
even though it wasn't stated in the approval of the agenda.
That's fine. You can move into executive session and move back out. Yes.
Okay. So, that would be my only ask of the commissioners. I definitely want to vote on this today, but I would like to table it until after executive.
Does that require a motion?
Yes, it does.
I'll make a motion. We table accounts payable, payroll, HR job description to after executive session.
I'll second.
The motion second that we table this till after executive. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Now, item J, approval of Clackamas County Fleet Maintenance position. Open the floor for discussion.
So Commissioners, if you recall, this was previously brought to you. I failed to provide you again. Becky had figured out what the differences would be with full-time county employee versus our what we're currently paying. I had previously
You
said
sent
that.
that to us.
I did, but I wanted to send it again this morning and I had other things. So basically the difference is about $10,000. So by the time you add in all the benefits that would be associated with this position, the employee is about $10,000 more than what we currently pay for vendors for this service. But I feel that having the employee we retain a little bit more control, and I'll let Commissioner Forward speak.
Yeah, I have comment. And of course, the $10,000 doesn't include the time that it takes our employees to take the vehicles to the location where they're being.
Right, and then getting you back and, yes.
Yeah. So I borrowed a county vehicle to go to Santa Fe. I got outside of Albuquerque and it quit running. I looked at the dash and it had no oil pressure. I thought I'd blown an engine. Got off, checked the oil. There was no oil in the engine whatsoever. I took a look at the sticker that is on the window on when it was changed, and the oil had been changed like a week before. So I looked for massive oil leaks underneath the engine. I mean, I've driven it from Reserve to outside of Albuquerque. No oil leaks outside of what you'd expect an engine with 75,000. I limped along to the next exit where there was a gas station and put 2 quarts of oil in it. It still didn't register. So I thought something's wrong. I drove it into Santa Fe and it ran just fine once I put the 2 quarts of oil in. In Santa Fe, I put in another 2 quarts of oil. And then it registered. Whoever changed the oil for us left the old filter in place full of oil and drained the oil out of the engine and didn't replace the oil. So for me, I'm saying if we have a maintenance man that we're responsible for, that's going to be a huge benefit, and we won't find ourselves in a position where oil's drained out of an engine and not replaced.
Do you think we can find one?
Well, my question is, are they gonna be certified to work on your emergency vehicles? Because you can't have just any Tom, Dick, and Harry work on fire trucks and ambulances and stuff. They've gotta be like a certified emergency vehicle person. So I don't know if that's included in it or not, but just thought for you.
They did the road department too. So
When we do maintenance, changing oil, changing fan belts, standard maintenance, Mark, do they need to be certified to do that?
I think they did.
Well, some of the equipment. So for example, our fire equipment up north, the people that currently work on that are not certified. Okay, and my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, Becky, is if they're not certified, so in Castle County, we don't have anyone certified for fire equipment. They would have to go, to Show Low or somewhere. My understanding is if we do not have a certified person, we do not get reimbursed by the state. If they are a certified individual, then the state takes on it.
I'm not sure about that. My concern on this whole deal is, I mean, I think this is a good idea if you can get everybody on board. However, I'm not sure that you can legally demand that the fire stations use, somebody other than what they want with their fire funds. You know, I don't know. If this is one of those things where if it's not being used by everybody, you're gonna end up spending more money for an employee. You see what I'm saying?
Mark, do you know how difficult it is to get certified to change oil on a emergency equipment?
I really don't know anything about it, as far as certification, you know.
For some reason, I was under the impression that Charles Queen is certified to work on emergency vehicles. Yeah, he is.
He is, but, this position, right, we're talking about this.
Right, no, I'm right.
Position.
But I mean, in someone in the county, he is able to do that.
Why don't you go to the people and find out if they would be willing to, because I have 2 vehicles, I know nothing about this. But I wanna know who's working on my vehicles, or I agree to join in, so why don't you find out if the sheriff's office, the road department, whatever would be willing to, and where are you gonna put them? Where's this gonna come?
So the proposal, and that's included in this discussion, is that this individual is at the road district 1 part of the week and road district 2. So we've already spoken to Mark, and the goal there was there's already used oil facilities in the tanks that are required that this person would have to add to.
Can we post the position, including that they must be certified, whatever the certification is, to work on emergency vehicles, and let's see what's available, or be willing to be certified.
And just to clarify, this has previously come to the commission. The sheriff was interested. He was actually the one that requested this.
I just think, cause then
Is this for all county equipment? I mean, vehicles, like road department and everything?
Yes.
Yes.
That
He
was
would be
the-
a county, he would be a county maintenance guy.
That was the intent. However, I believe your heavy equipment would be under a different set.
Yeah, because that was my point. I don't want that to happen.
Yes. That was what we
Service their
discussed
own ways.
previously.
Because there's oil samples, all kinds of stuff they have to do.
I think.
Yeah.
I think it's like a can of worms we're opening. I think that somebody that's running from there to there to there and spending money and I mean, I know that we had one issue with the truck leaking out, but for what we're gonna pay and I don't know that we're gonna save anything. I don't,
Dan, didn't we already have this discussion and approved the position? We just didn't post it.
You tabled it with the request to be provided the numbers, the differences. So the differences were $10,000 approximately. We had this discussion during budget time because the discussion originated with the budget in both the sheriff and we as a group like policies.
I don't know, I know, the opinion, Audrey, is, and I like doing business and helping local businesses out, but I also know just kind of the different and the random people that are servicing vehicles coming through. And I think that would be my, I guess, positive in support of this, is if we can get somebody in-house that was that would be more, what's the word?
Yeah, well, it's gonna be convenient for the people that have these fleets of vehicles. If, instead of having to take the vehicle here or there, well, the
Is he gonna
maintenance
be like
man will come to them.
is he gonna have a truck, like where he can travel everywhere and do all this? I think it's like as far, he was just working in reserve, that's no big deal, but like, running all around the county and in parts, and then I see it as a disaster.
What's in the job description that does that?
Right now, he would be working out of the unit here, and then he would go to Kamala and work out there. Because there's where there's a grab facility. So
Well,
we're not talking about purchasing a mobile unit right now.
right,
We're just talking about working in-house, keeping the vehicle together. Because right now, when we take a vehicle in, pretty much 2 people have to be involved. Because I guarantee you, nothing's happening. So you're having to take 2 county employees to take a vehicle, and that isn't included in the cost. In the cost deal, you're taking an average of what we're spending on maintenance a year. And Mark can probably comment on this or other deals, but say we're needing to maintain something, you're having to take 2 county employees to go deliver that, say, to J&Y Auto. And then take that county employee back. Then whenever they finish the vehicle, which depending on the processes can be 1 day or a week or whatever, then 2 county employees are having to go back to retrieve that vehicle. Does that make sense? And those things aren't included in the cost. So I can see this part of it. Yes.
so, so let me ask you, and this is just coming from, some things that I've just experienced on the maintenance side of stuff.
Yes.
So it's not that I'm opposed to this position.
Right.
I'm just kind of like trying to weigh it out.
Right.
So we had an instance, so first of all, would the county be able to say to all the county employees and everything, you have to bring it to this person, you have to, can we do that, first of all, can we do that?
Mr. Chairman, I can answer that, and the answer is absolutely yes. All the county property is the county's property, and it's not the Board of County Commissioners that gets to direct how that property is maintained. So yes,
Okay.
the board, and that includes the fire departments, because even though those are fire funds, it's coming through the county. It's a county fire department. So
Right, and the only reason, I'm kind of playing devil's advocate here because I kind of know like what's in store if this gets passed, which is fine, it's not here nor there. We had a case of, somebody needing their vehicle worked on, the person they needed it to work on, who's a vendor with us, everything, could not do it because they were backed up, so they ended up taking it to another mechanic that the county basically frowns upon, but that mechanic was able to do it right then and there, and this was regarding an ambulance, and so that vendor did it. In the case of an emergency, if this employee tends to get backed up and behind, would they have the ability to, on an emergency situation, go somewhere else, or does the county employee drop everything right there and work on this priority first?
Well, and I need to clarify that this position is more kind of the exchange of parts, oil change. This person isn't going to be doing a full engine replacement, right? And a lot of our vehicles are still under warranty, so that warranty work would go to, the dealership. So if there is an emergency, I think it would depend on the type of emergency, but this person is designed as someone to do basic maintenance.
Yeah.
What if this was narrowed down to like, just the fire department, the sheriff's vehicles, and maybe the commission vehicles? Because all the road departments, they can do their own maintenance on pickups and change oil at their own intervals. And that could be, something that's kind of like Buster was saying, I'm gonna take the guys to go deliver a truck or something, and we can do it right here. And I'm speaking for the road department, but I understand, you have to be certified, to change oil or even do anything on these fire trucks and this and that and other. And I know the sheriff department, they're kind of running all the time, and they need some help. So I think they would qualify, in my opinion, and maybe the commission vehicles and maybe some of the county vehicles.
Well,
For what we're gonna pay for that, we're not gonna save no money.
Well, that's another thing. I know what, you're still gonna have to, these fire trucks and stuff, I know you have to be certified.
Yeah.
That's why I say, the road department's fine, we do their own.
so
But like the sheriff department, you're gonna take it to a vendor. And I know I was here at the last meeting when Keith was complaining about, changing a windshield wiper or something cost a little bit. So I did.
So the dollar analysis that was done, that include maintenance on our heavy equipment?
No.
Okay.
How about the tools? If he's gonna come with his own tools, or the county gonna buy that?
That was, the plan was that individual comes fully prepared to work. Yeah, he has his own tools.
Mr. Chairman, I did have an opportunity now to research the certifications for mechanics, and there's no federal certification, but federal requirements for that, they have to be, the repairs have to be done by someone who's qualified. And that EVT certification, which is Emergency Vehicle Technician certification, is encouraged for the fire apparatus and ambulances. Encouraged. And then ASC is the standard. Most agencies and municipalities require mechanics to be ASC certified, which is National Institute for Automotive Service Excellence. So I think when I go to Jiffy Lube, those people are ASC certified, or they advertise ASC certified, but I don't know if they can work on emergency vehicles like fire trucks and ambulances and law enforcement vehicles.
So if I'm reading this right, it's going to be more efficient, and we are just talking maintenance. We're not talking major repairs. It'll be more efficient, and we will be able to control the schedule. We will have somebody that we're controlling, and indeed, if there's an emergency, we can dispatch it to go to the emergency. And as long as we are washing or saving money, I think it's a good idea.
Yes, ma'am.
When I pulled the numbers together for maintenance, I went in and I pulled everything for maintenance, and I didn't realize that we're just talking about changing oil and stuff. You're talking about just the minor, because when I was doing this, I'm thinking like, if an engine breaks down, you're able to work on the engine. If that's not part of the deal, you're gonna end up paying a county employee a lot more money than what we're saving on oil changes. I mean, that's just my.
Well, did the numbers that you pulled together include major repairs?
I pulled everything out of I didn't go through each separate one. I went through everybody's maintenance line items and pulled off everything. So it could have included things that were done to CAT. It could have included, I didn't really break it down to that much. I can certainly go in and break it down more detailed if you would like.
My recollection is that we pulled 3 vendors, and we're talking a vendor from North County, J&Y Automotive, Catherine Garage, and a third one. And just between those 3 vendors, we had spent about $67,000. So
that wasn't just for oil change. That was for other things. Yeah.
Believe me, I understand. So this was created by the sheriff, was the primary requester. He has spent a large amount of money on oil changes, tire rotations, brake jobs, things that this position would be able to capture. So while I agree with Becky that we may need to pull out that data and provide maybe a cleaner picture.
Why don't you do an RFP for maintenance for the sheriff's office and just do it as under contract? Because that seems to be the main person. Mark's taking care of road stuff that he can and going out to the other person anyway. And we have, minor oil changes. We don't take people to go. We walk to drop it off at Sam's and pick it up, and we do that maybe once. I don't know. Yeah, as needed. So if it's just a sheriff's office thing, why don't you just do an RFP for a contract that you pay whoever as for what they do, not a full-time county employee? That would save you your insurance and your benefits.
It's not just the sheriff's office thing. I mean, we've got many vehicles beyond the sheriff's.
Mark, do we even in our facility, do we have the equipment for tire rotation and balancing and for wheel alignment? Do we?
Not wheel alignment, but for tire balancing and stuff like that, we do, yes.
Okay.
District 2 does it, District 1 does. as far as tire mounts.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, we can leave the floor for discussion. I think that, we should table this until we get just a little more separated information there, because is there any way, Becky, that without taxing or a lot of time, that we could kind of separate minor oil changes from
I can go through.
other stuff?
I will go through and do a complete detailed thing. I'll even pull out cap and I'll pull out fire and I'll just detail everything for you guys.
But is that gonna be a real problem? And the reason
More
I'm,
of a problem what I've been doing recently,
yeah,
so.
well, yeah, which is why we don't want it. The reason I bring it up is while you're in the process, if you see that there are major repairs, if somebody's doing a head gasket and that's part of the numbers that you were pulling, well, that's gonna tell us right there that we're not saving any money.
Right.
So,
No, I would
Yeah.
consider this part of my job description and I would be more than to do.
Okay.
okay, but if you do see head gaskets in there or injection valves replaced, you can stop doing the work because that'll tell us
Yeah.
that there's a shift in savings.
So on item J, I motion that we table this until we have further information. Been motioned and seconded that we table this. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item K, approval of Jane Hamilton construction contract for construction of the Reserve Airport T-16 Airport rehabilitation, runway widening, and wildlife exclusion fence, FFA rebid. Okay, open the floor for discussion.
Good Chairman, Commissioners, this is basically, we have found a contractor, for the airport project. And this is basically to grant him the contract to move forward with that. So he was, actually the only bid, but he came in. We did get approval through FAA and state, the DOT they kind of upped their allotment to the county. So what we have to pay total for the entire $3.6 million project is $1,800.
Wow.
So
Do we have to get another bid or can we just go with just?
no, this is moving forward with this contract. So this contractor was slightly above what was allocated, but the state allocated a little more money to bridge that gap. So the county's only paying $800.
So you recommend we grant him the grant?
I do.
All right.
Okay,
I'll make a motion, we grant him the grant.
good motion seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Item L, delegation of authority for a vehicle purchase for the Catherine County Smucknocker capital outlay project, 65. Okay, open the floor for discussion. I am not able to get my email.
I just wanted to be sure on this, so we've got $65,000 of a grant, right? And so, and what we were gonna do is get an F-250 diesel, right?
I believe it's a Dodge,
Or the Dodge,
which doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
but since like an SUV was gonna cost us $45,000, then we wouldn't be able to utilize all that money. And then the roads department was gonna get $200,000 next year.
Correct.
That we could utilize getting the $45,000 SUV. The roads department will get this vehicle, and then we'll get an SUV so that we're using all of our funds.
So the goal was correct. We are, and I believe correction, it's a $60,000.
I believe it's
So
60,000.
So but the clarification is that the commission office does not need a 3/4 ton vehicle. But if we purchased a, say, Ford Explorer or something, we need a 4-wheel drive vehicle. That is non-negotiable. And that was an aspect of the grant that we had. It had to be four-wheel drive, it had to be four-door. Those were the two things that the grant, required. So we also have a $200,000 grant for vehicles that benefits road department. So the goal was, there was gonna be such a remainder left on this grant of about $20,000 that we would lose out on. If I was able to capture a larger vehicle that I can transfer to the road department and use a smaller chunk of their funds and to purchase a vehicle for the commission office. So that was the goal here. I think we're getting more for our available funds.
Dave, is that all?
That sounds copacetic to me,
Is
yes.
that done right?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. You're buying it and you're doing internal transfers.
I spoke with Adrian about it this morning and he said
I
absolutely.
mean, it makes the best sense to me,
Do it.
but
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Mark? And is that what would be of the best use of the particular vehicle that we're talking about?
You bet, that I'm all for it.
Okay, but it wouldn't need to be modified in any way? Cause, I mean,
No, not really, no.
you sure we don't need a Ford?
I agree.
I mean, a dog for scraping the bottom of the barrel, but
The problem is you'll probably be hauling, some weight with it from time to time, so you gotta have to dodge.
But I mean,
Plenty of
is there, if it's in the cost structure, would that not be just to up it to a 1 ton? To a 3,500?
That's what we use mainly anyway. We do use 1 ton for heavier use, but not, each district may have one, but all the other vehicles are 300 ton.
Okay,
Are you gonna put
Fit with us?
a gooseneck, hitch in it, or you will?
Sure.
Okay.
We got a flatbed trailer every
Three-quarter
district, so.
If we did kick it up to a 3,500, that would be outside of the budget.
I believe so.
we don't need to, because Mark needs a 3/4 ton. I make a motion, we approve this right now.
I second right now.
okay. Then motion and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Consideration of resolution, item M, consideration of resolution 17-2026 investment policy. Okay, open the floor for discussion.
This, I will transfer this discussion from Mary to Becky. We don't, and possibly maybe David can speak on this, we have an investment policy. I'm under the impression in 2016, Catherine County adopted something. However, the clerk's office could not find a ratified copy nor a, so here we are.
I think Dave would want to comment.
Yeah, so if I could, I want to just explain both the background and kind of what this policy does and for your discussion. So pursuant to statutes, the county treasurer manages deposits and investments with the advice and consent of this board. This resolution would vest authority in a different board, the AIC, the Advisory Investment Committee, who would be comprised of the treasurer, a commissioner, or a commissioner or their delegate, and the finance director. And it would be delegating them the authority to make decisions with respect to county investments. I'm thinking that in light of, the present situation, this board may not be as amenable to delegating its authority, but would rather maybe retain authority with respect to investment decisions. So
Yes.
I might ask that you consider tabling the draft ordinance as presented, that we go back and revise it to remove the creation of the advisory investment committee and retain that sort of authority with this board. You can set forth what your parameters are and what your priorities are in this resolution, but you may at this moment not want to delegate that.
Right. I'm in full agreement. So any other discussion?
I just, like, this kind of goes, I think, with the investment thing, so I just had a question on, you could tell me if it's not for this agenda, but the CDs that are gonna be maturing in, I don't know, like a month or something, where are those at? Does
I don't
anybody,
deal with CDs, why are you looking at me? I don't deal with CDs. I'm like,
4 of them mature in November, they're all at the bank. We have one in December that's with Morton Capital. We had one last month with Morton Capital, but what went on, I'm not allowed to move, so it rolled into the money market fund.
And the 4 that are at the bank are maturing for our next commission meeting. So if we're going to do something with that money and it's over $2 million, it's not on the agenda now, we need to have a special.
we're gonna have a special meeting because like
Yeah,
we can't just let that money roll in.
Can I speak? Please correct me if I'm wrong, Dave. One of the reasons this investment policy was put before you also is because under local government, I do believe there's a statute that says before any kind of investments can be done or anything, the local government body has to have an investment policy before they can move forward to invest. I'm not, I read that, I'm not sure, Dave, so but that's what I read, that you have to have an investment policy in place. So that's why I was pushing to try to get one in place before anything else happened, so that we would be in compliance.
Well, Mr. Chairman, given that this board will have a special meeting to address the CDs, then you'll have such a policy in place before you take any further action. So, for the subsequent special meeting agenda, I would propose that we have the investment policy on before you have that, you take that subsequent action. I'm looking to see whether or not I see a statutory
So
requirement.
let's just, would it be, let's table this until after executive session with our other action items?
That's fine, yes.
And then we can research and then discuss.
or can we just say we will have the investment policy on the agenda for our special meeting?
Yes,
And as long as we passed it before.
that's
other-
correct.
That's fine.
Then you're,
Okay. So I motion that we table this. Yes.
Through the treasurer's affiliate, that's the subject that's come up. It is only Class A counties that are required to have written finance or investment policy. Class Bs are not. We are B.
Still think we should have one.
It's a good thing to have, but it's not a requirement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I motion that we table this until the special meeting on the table.
yes, please, the special meeting.
I'll second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Okay. We are now, motion and roll call vote to resist regular session and go into executive session in that pursuant to New Mexico State Statute, Section 10-15-1, only the following matters will be discussed in closed session. Is there a
The
motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
It's been motioned second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And District 1,
Buster Green? Aye.
District 2,
Aubrey McLean.
District 3.
Aiming forward, aye.
We are now
Time
in executive session.
10,
Thank
11.
you all. Appreciate you.
And
I
then
just wanted to try to get, had a discussion with the AMP board over the state road police thing. Most of the other counties.
That email that I sent you on the Gila Forest,
it's 12:45.
Motion and vote to reconvene regular session at 12:45 PM.
what is the motion on this?
Is there a motion?
To.
I'll motion to reconvene.
I'll second.
Let's table it.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in
District,
favor? Aye. Reconvene? Aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Motion roll call vote. The matter discussed in closed session were limited to those specified in motion for closure and that no final action was taken as per New Mexico statute section 10-15-1.
roll call vote. District 1,
Buster Green, no action taken.
District 2,
Audrey, I'm taking.
District 3.
Aiming forward, no action taken.
Okay, starting back out, we are back to item I. That was put after approval of accounts payable, payroll, and HR description. If there is no further discussion, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve.
I'll second.
It's been motioned and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yep. Yeah. Now,
Motion.
direction to staff regarding State Land Office Road Amnesty. Is there any discussion? Seeing as there is none, is there a motion?
A motion we table.
I'll second.
It's been motioned and seconded that we table this. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next commission meeting is November 10th, 2025 at 9 AM. We want to make sure we get that up on the web, Deb, soon, so that, and then notify Forest Service and anybody else who might. That gives Forest Service a hard time. Because I know that they aren't furloughed, they're still on.
Lesson for continuing the work.
Yeah. All right, is there anything else? Meeting is adjourned at 12:47 PM.
Make it without having to speed down in Lordsburg.
There you
Hey.
go.
That's super easy. I'm not gonna die today.
Hey, it was only like months ago, we